Why are you wearing a mask? Demanded the big man, shortly after I'd freed him and the others. He was a bullish sort of guy, brave but quick to anger. Exactly the sort of hombre I didn't much like spending time around. My natural inclination was to ignore him, but I had to remind myself to show a little patience and charity of spirit. After all, this poor guy was a runaway slave. Don't slaves of all people have the absolute right to be suspicious of strangers? Because I don't want anyone to see my face, I said to him. I'm what you call a wandering hero of justice. Actually, Sir Matthew, you're what's called a fortnite. Pete chimed in helpfully. Yes, Pete, thank you. I'm a fortnite, but I'm also a wandering hero of justice. I like doing things that disrupt the status quo and put the powers that be on notice. But in order to be effective and to protect the innocent from reprisal, it works best if the folks I help don't know what I look like. Oh, is that what we're doing? Oh, I like that. Pete exclaimed happily. Yes, that sounds splendid. We are wandering crusaders of the common good, dedicated to protecting humanity from all who wish it harm. Him, a bold knight-errant righting the wrongs of a corrupted world, and me, his faithful friend and partner, my overly talkative sidekick. I bluntly corrected him. Oh, you. Sir Matthew likes to act gruff, but we're actually very good friends. Keep telling yourself that, and maybe one day you'll believe it, I said. I will, Sir Matthew. I will. The big man stared at us blankly for a moment before saying, You've trapped a demon and enslaved it to your will? What? Peter asked, his voice aghast at the accusation. Why, perish the very thought, citizen. I am a product of precision engineering, refined and masterful programming, and a loving touch of reality-altering matter manipulation. There is no part of me with eldritch or demonic origins. Please avoid saying such hurtful things. What did it say? Asked the big man. He says he's a good boy and he doesn't appreciate you implying otherwise, I told him. Come to think of it, I didn't either. Now listen, I'm not saying the man should be kissing my ass or anything like that. I wasn't looking for a pat on the head for doing the right thing, but as my grandma once put it, if someone does you a favour, then what you owe them is gratitude, not attitude. I don't trust the lives of demons, he said, nor the assurances of those they possess. I just told you we're the good guys, Pard, I said, my patience finally wearing thin. Where's your proof? He said. Your oppressors are dead and I'm not slapping your mouth for giving me lip. How's that for proof, sunshine? This guy was really getting me rankled. I would have gotten us free. I didn't need your help. We didn't need your help, he insisted. Because giving that hell spoot a tongue bath was the secret source to emancipation, was it? To hell with you, Warlock, the big man snarled, as he took an aggressive step towards me. So, that's how it was, huh? Well, I stepped towards him just as aggressively as he did towards me. I didn't care if he was bigger than I was. I'd kick his sorry ass just the same, if he really wanted to throw hands with me. Stop! Cried out the woman in his group. The pretty blonde who now held her arms around the child that elf prick had tormented earlier. Borman, please stop. He saved us. There's no need for this. Amanda, don't be deceived by his words, the big man replied. He's using sorcery and he covers his face. We have no way of even knowing if he's truly human. This could be a ploy to get us to lower our guard and... Sir, you are dumber than spit if you think that, I snapped at him. I don't need you to lower your guard for anything. If I was your enemy, I would just... I grunted heavily and sat down after Borman punched me in the gut as hard as he could. Oh, damn. That boy's arm had some muscle on it. He'd just about knocked out every bit of breath in my entire body. Everyone, run! He yelled. Oh, like hell he was going anywhere. Before that dirty fighting cheap shot artist could take another 5 steps, I threw a wall up in front of him, blocking his escape. By the gods! He cried, as he ran right into it. Don't worry about them, boy. I'm the one that's in front of you, I yelled, as I spun him around and gave him a damn good sock across the jaw. I watched with a sense of sublime satisfaction as he crumpled under my punch. Not such a big man now, was he? Bastard! He growled, as he climbed back to his feet. Me? I'm the bastard? Look at the balls on you, you sucker-punching son of a bitch! What the hell is your problem? I yelled, as my temper truly began to flare. Now listen, everyone. Sucker-punching a man who was looking you square in the eye is about the lowest thing one fella could possibly do to another. I don't care where you're from, who you are, or what your excuse is. Dirty fighting was dirty fighting. And if you were guilty of it, then you deserved a black eye, a sore ass, and a swollen lip. And no one was ever going to convince me otherwise. We won't go from being slaves of the elves to slaves of the advocacy, Borman yelled, facing me with no shame in his eyes. The asshole. What's that got to do with me, dumbass? What the hell is the efficacy? Don't try to deceive us, Warlock. We've all seen you talking to your demon, he insisted. You're still saying that shit? But my mama raised me Baptist. I don't truck with no demons. You got that? Deceiver! I won't be fooled, he screamed. And boy, I promise you are kicking the wrong pebble. I screamed right back. Borman, it's true, said the woman. My eye doesn't see any miasma on him. No sorcery at all. He's untainted. Be silent, Amanda, he said. Oh, Sir Matthew, won't you please calm down? Peter begged me. Shut up, Pete, I said. Borman and I sized one another up and began circling each other, our jaws tight, our fists clenched. I'm not backing down, he growled. Fuck you, I'm knocking your ass down, I replied. Gotta use your demon ring to cheat, you soulless freak? He asked me. In response, I jerked my forge ring off my hand and tossed it behind me. Oh, Sir Matthew, please don't do that, Pete began to say before being cut off. What ring, motherfucker? I asked Borman. Okay, guys. I need to admit something here. I have a problem with my temper. I don't know exactly where my anger came from. It's probably a hereditary thing. You see, my mother is a beautiful, kindly Christian woman with a generous heart. She genuinely loves her fellow man. If you were hungry, she'd feed you. If you were cold, she'd give you the jacket she was wearing and the shoes on her feet. In that respect, she was a wonderful role model for me growing up, and I couldn't admire her more if I tried. However, my mother hailed from what polite society calls a rural background. She'd worked hard and gotten herself an education, but if anyone were to ever speak of her rustic heritage in a derogatory manner, or imply that she was less intelligent than anyone else because of it, that could make her pretty raw. So too was speaking down to her in a condescending manner. Oh, hell. If I'm being completely honest, so could talking shit about the Tar Heels while she was drinking, or trying to cut her off while she wasn't finished drinking. That was just a big no-no. Lord, that was an open invitation to getting your head pushed down a running wood chipper. Cops called for backup when my mama was in one of her moods, and their backups called for a SWAT unit. She was a hell of a lady, my dear mother was. Anyway, I inherited just a teensy bit of that temper of hers, and it occasionally led me to make rash decisions, like discarding my superpowered weapons manufacturing platform because I didn't want some sucker-punching asshole to whine about me cheating, when I made him swallow his own teeth for being a dirty-dealing son of a bitch. Well, I said to Borman, I'm waiting. Oof! Again. Faster than I would have expected, the big man lashed out with a straight jab that blasted me full in the face. Man, he hit me so hard. He managed to crack my mask in two with the force of his punch. I stared at the pieces unhappily, as both sides fell to the ground. God dang it, I said. They weren't my disguise. No wonder you wore a mask, you ugly bastard, Borman grunted. Well, that's what I assumed he said. It sounded more like, yeah, so as it turns out, no one on this planet spoke a lick of English, and if I wasn't wearing my forge ring, I couldn't understand a damn thing they were saying. Whatever. I didn't need to understand this big boy. I just needed to teach him a lesson. I faked him out with a quick left-handed feint, and then caught him under the chin with a right uppercut. It was a good hit. The impact felt just right, but his damn beard was so bushy, it actually helped cushion his jaw a little. Let me tell you something. Punching guys with thick beards can be a real pain in the ass. All that facial hair could give your knuckles a real scraping. I already knew mine were going to be itchy later on. Borman sneered at me, as though he knew what I was thinking. Man, fuck this guy. He came at me with a straight right, which I pivoted to the side to avoid. While he was off balance, I caught him in the ribs with a nice left hook. Instead of backing off like I expected, though, he suddenly lurched forward and brought both arms around me in a tight bear hug. Then he started squeezing me, forcing the air out of my lungs like a damn boa constrictor. Well, shoot. This wasn't looking too good, I thought to myself. I tried to headbutt him, but Borman kept his neck low, and the top of his head pressed against my forehead, which kept me from putting enough force behind my strikes. He also lifted me off my feet and began swinging my body from side to side while continuing to squeeze. I could feel my face beginning to turn purple as dots swam across my vision. It suddenly occurred to me that Borman might be playing for keeps here, as in he might intend to end this fight by turning me into a corpse. That wouldn't be good. I had a lot of stuff I still wanted to do with my life. That wouldn't happen if I ended up dead at the hands of alien Grizzly Adams over here. I don't really think of myself as a warrior, but I do possess a code of honor, and part of my code was giving a fair warning when I was about to do something bad.
Let go of me or I'm bashing your nuts,
I wheezed out. Borman continued to squeeze away, certain he was about to win. Well, whatever. I'd given him a fair warning. See? I'm not the bad guy here. It's not dirty fighting if you warn them first, right? Oh, what's that? He couldn't understand me if I wasn't wearing my ring? Well, fuck him. That's his problem, isn't it? A man can only do so much. One lineage-ending knee frost later, I stood above Borman as the champion, crowning my victory to the sky, while he lay collapsed on the ground, with his voice now 1 octave higher. Lesson taught, lesson learned. Borman! The woman yelled, as she rushed to his side, cradling his head in her lap while he moaned deliriously. Oh, he'll be fine, I said to her smugly. He just needs to walk it off. I thought you were helping us, she said to me angrily. I am helping you, I said, surprised by the intensity of her anger. How? By beating us when we anger you? She said scathingly. Hey, he started it. Okay, that sounded a little lame, I admit it. He started it? Are you a child then to respond so easily to his provocations? Oh, now I'm a child? God, I hated this planet. Lady, he sucker-punched me. When a fellow breaks the code, he pays the price. That's just how real men are. Then it would appear to me that all real men are fools. Oh, for God's sake, am I back in school? Is this my guidance counselor's ultimate revenge? Seems to me a fella can go all across the universe and still not escape getting nagged on. Irritated, I knelt and grabbed Borman by his ankles. Amanda looked at me in alarm, so I held up a hand to cut her off. Hold on, okay? I'm pretty sure I sent his twins up inside him. He'll feel a lot better if we stretch his legs out. Just lean down on his torso while I pull. She did as instructed, and after a few moments of pulling, Borman let out a small gasp of relief, and leaned back as Amanda once more cradled his head on her lap. My brave warrior, she murmured, as she stroked his hair. My guiding star, he whispered to her with a smile. Oh, Blair. Of course he gets the goal. I swear this world really did hate my guts. I felt a tug of my cloak and looked down. It was the kid. She stood there, looking at me with an uncertain expression on her face. In her upheld palm, she held my forge ring. Oh, right. Thanks, Angel, I said to her after sliding it back on. She smiled at me sweetly and ran back to the other two. Well, at least one of that group wasn't a jerk. A moment later, I got my second lecture of the morning. Sir Matthew, that was extremely inappropriate. What if something had happened to you? This world is teeming with all manner of dangerous life forms. You must not do such a thing ever again. Were your apprenticeship being carried out under normal circumstances, discarding me like that could have very well led to your expulsion from the Order. Hey, I tried to say. It will not happen again, sir, Peter said with surprising vehemence. Never again. Wow. Pete had a bigger temper than I thought. Well, he had a point too. Best to give in on this one. Sorry, buddy. I just got caught up in the moment. I apologized sheepishly. It was a duel between men, and honor forbade me from having an advantage. What's so honorable about kneeing someone's testicles? Lots of things, as long as you do it with a correct mindset, I informed him. By the way, did you notice? I asked him after lowering my voice. Sir? That woman, Amanda. She could speak to me without your auto-translator, and while she was touching Borman, I could understand him too. I had noticed, sir. I was uncertain if you had. I was about to bring it to your attention. Pete, what does country not mean again? Stupid, sir. Correct. Top marks for the forge ring. Hurrah! What do I win? Improved self-esteem and a sense of accomplishment. Wonderful. Thank you, Sir Matthew. I shall treasure them always. I didn't sigh out loud. I think doing that would have hurt Pete's feelings. Jeez, some people are just immune to sarcasm. So, what do you think? I asked him. Is she human or what? One moment. Allow me to examine her DNA to determine the answer. You can do a DNA test just like that? Don't you need a blood sample first, or a spit swab or something? Oh, Sir Matthew, I forget sometimes how quaint 21st century Earth's level of technological development is. All I need to do is examine the breaths Amanda exhales in order to gain the information I seek. I can do that from a moderate distance away, without having to disturb her with any unsanitary prodding of her bodily fluids. Wow, Pete. My uncle in the militia would be terrified of you. Why is that? I'm one of the good guys. Ah, there we are. I've discovered the answers we seek. The woman, Amanda, while outwardly appearing human, shares a genetic lineage with a sorcerous draconic lifeform native to this planet. Oh, and she's much older than she appears. Draconic? I asked him. That sounds like a word I should know. What's it mean? It means blood of the dragon, Amanda said coldly as she cut Pete off. No falling? I asked her. Yes, I am blood of dragons, and you have attacked and injured my chosen mate. No falling? I asked her again. Not even a little. Okay, you're very pretty. I dislike you, Forge Knight. Well, shit.